Hey YouTube, it's your boy here, Kali Muscle, and I just want to say hello to everyone. I hope you're having a good day, good week, good month, good year, good life. All right. Today I'm doing a video that is overdue. You know, a lot of people don't do what I'm about to do, and I know the reason because I was like that as well. What I'm gonna do is today tell you guys my experience with PEDs, performance enhancing drugs, juice, roids, whatever you want to call it, right? Testosterone, basically. It's all testosterone. So I'm gonna take you from the beginning, my initial time experiencing it, and it was back in 2000. I want to say 6 or 7, when a friend of mine that I knew for a lot of years, he was a competitive bodybuilder. He told me that I would come in and kill the bodybuilding game if I got on some roids, right? And at this time, I'm in my early 30s. And so I listened to him. I seen he was winning local shows like the Contra Costa in Hayward, the San Jose bodybuilding show. He was in the bodybuilding game. He was doing it all. He knew about the drugs and supplements and all that. So I took his advice. And so he gave me my first dose of Sustanon. And because I was scared of needles or whatever. So he did it the first 4 times, like once a week he had did it. And at that time it was Susanon 250. And so immediately within 3 weeks, I had gained like 5 pounds. My strength was crazy, right? And so I'm like, oh God, we're on to something. You know what I mean? But like I say, coming from a ghetto thug mentality, um, I was still scared of the effects of my health and things like that. But what it did was just what it did overrode my fear of it. And so at this point, I decided to do a bodybuilding show when he started because he talked me in. You should do a show. You should do a show. 6 months in, I decided to do the show, Contra Costa, 2009 Contra Costa bodybuilding show. So I did that show and won. But after the Susanon, I went Sus, Deca, D-Ball, and I stacked that. And so when I was getting ready for that first show, I just got on like Test and Nanthate and Winstrol. And I would take an anti-estrogen Remedex. So that's what I did my first show on, and I won it. Contra Costa, you guys can do the research. 2009. So at this point, I'm like, oh man, we got something here. You know what I mean? I did 2 more shows, maybe 3 more shows. I did a Contra Costa. I did the San Jose. I won super heavy in San Jose. LA show. And I did the Cal show. Only show out of those, I mean, I won them all, but I wanted to win the California show because saying you Mr. California was everything to a California bodybuilder. So that show I didn't win. I came in third actually. And so that year I won 3, came in third. That was in 2009. And so I'm like, hey, I got something here. Even though I was mad I lost the Mr. California show. At that point I knew it was politics. Politics and everything. So I knew I just had to overcome the political aspect. So I progressed in doing those 4 shows. I went on tests. I went on Anavar, Winstro. Always took a Remedex, took Lasix, all the stuff that harms you. You know what I mean? So 2010 come, and I moved to LA. So I'm like, I want to become a pro bodybuilder. So during this time, let me rewind back a little bit. During the time of me doing these bodybuilding shows, I studied a minimum of 8 hours a day. I bought all the anabolics books. I was on Google 8 hours a day because everybody do the same workouts. Everybody take the same supplements. It's how you stack the pads. You know what I mean? That's gonna cause the look you want or the look that you trying to achieve. So with me, I knew I wanted to stay full but look shredded. So I had to try clenbuterol. I had to try T3. Um, and so I was experimenting based. I didn't know what the heck I was doing. I didn't have no advisor. The guys I knew was amateurs that was guessing as well. And so I remember this one time I experienced a bad infection. My partner, or guy I knew, gave me some testosterone, and all of a sudden a boil had came on the side of my hip. And so I immediately knew it was from bad juice. I knew it was from bad stuff. And I mean, that thing got big right here on my side. I still got the scar to prove it. Let me see if I can see it. So this scar right here was a big old boil. And so it took about a week, and I got in a bath, hot bath. I mean, it was excruciating pain, man. I got a video on YouTube where I had it bandaged. Excruciating pain. And after the seventh day, I got in a hot tub, and it exploded. All this, stuff I didn't even think the human body could produce. And so right then, I got more scared. But of course, because of the muscle, the strength, the look, I proceeded on. And so 2010, I moved to Los Angeles, wanting to become a pro bodybuilder. And so I kept studying, kept getting these books online, researching everything. And, I had got to the point where I looked good. I was big, 260. One time I got up to 270. Let me tell you about how I got up to 270. I was 250 and decided to get on insulin. Worst thing I ever did in my life, probably, besides go to prison. But so the hype was insulin, became insulin. And so I'm like, let me try it, right? Bro, I almost died. Like, what insulin do is get you to the point where you got to eat a lot of carbohydrates, and it fills your muscle in with carbohydrates. So what happened to me was, I never forget this day, because I was helping moving some stuff out of dead person's house. And what happened was, I ate a lot of carbs, and I went to go help move this stuff out of this person's apartment to help my then family. And then all of a sudden I got dizzy. I started sweating. I'm like, oh man, I'm about to go into a coma. They call it a diabetic coma. And so I'm huffing, puffing, drenched with sweat. I had to tell my friend that was with me at the time, go get me a Snicker bar. And, I got the Snicker bar, and after about 10, 15 minutes, I got back to normal. Right then, I left that stuff alone. So that was, man, do not take insulin. If you're a bodybuilder, you risking your life. That's probably the cause of quite a few bodybuilders dying. Because if you don't get that sugar spike, you think, oh, I'm going to just go to sleep, and you go to sleep and die. So leave that stuff alone, man. So 2010 come, I do about 4 more shows. I went from 250 to, I think I was competing at about 228, somewhere around there. I was a heavyweight, sometimes super heavyweight. And this when trend comes in the picture. I start taking, my max on testosterone I was up to 1,000. So that was like 1 cc a week of testosterone, which is 250. I was on like 600 tren. At times I would take deep ball, sometimes Anadrol, would mix it in. And people on the internet, they like, how did I have that vascularity? Which I still got it now, and I'm not on none of that. But The vascularity came from me keeping my estrogen low. And I kept my estrogen low by staying on the Remedex. And Remedex is estrogen, it keeps the estrogen low. So I would stay on a Remedex year round. And that's how I kept my lean, vascular, hard look for those, inquiring, want to know, or how did, that's how guys stay vascular looking. You keep your water, estrogen low, and that keeps the water off your muscles. So that was my off-season stack. Tessananthe, Trend 600, sometimes Anadrol, sometimes D-Ball, Remedex. That was my stack. So getting ready for shows, I would do Test Probe, Trend, Ace, Winnie, was just Winstrol, VAR, Clenbuterol, T3, and Lasix in there, water pill when you get ready for the show. And that was my stack, man. I never did Synthol. I never did anything to pump up my muscles for a day or anything like that. After a show, I would get off everything. I would do nothing. I would come off everything, do Clomid and HCG when I would come off everything. That's why if you guys research my videos, I was bulked up sometime, then I trimmed down because to me, I knew it was going to end up being a health problem. That's why I would see myself in the mirror like, oh, I'm too big, and I would trim down. And so you guys could go to videos, they're like, oh, he off his cycle, he off this, and yeah, I was. I was trying not to have a heart attack, which I had. Anyway, so what happened to me was had to take a hiatus. I wanted to have a kid. I wanted to have kids or a kid. When I moved to Vegas in 2016, I got with my now baby mama wife, and we decided we wanted to have kids. So I went to a fertility specialist, and they said my sperm was 0. And here it is, a guy like myself, I should have, if, I wasn't a thug ghetto guy, which a lot of them do anyway. But I was supposed to have like 10 kids. That's how many babies I was supposed to have. But, the women that I was with at the time getting pregnant when I was young, I told them I was in the streets, might get killed, might go do life or death row, so don't have kids by me. And none of them did. Gratefully, it's great they didn't for that time period because I was just a hothead in the streets. So when I decided to have kids, went to a fertility specialist in Vegas, they said, oh, guess what? Your sperm count at 0. And man, I was crushed. That hurt me more than anything in my life besides my brother dying. I was crushed, man. I felt less of a man. You know what I mean? So I talked to the doctor and I asked her, what can I do to bring my sperm count back up? So she said, firstly, you're going to have to get off steroids. Then we got to put you on a high dosage of Clomid and a high dosage of HCG. And I was doing HMG, I think it is, as well to boost up my sperm. So that's why that video why I lost my size. I was off everything for 2 years. So it took a year, about a year it took about 6 months for my sperm count to get up to 10 million. So at that point, they extracted sperm from me and meshed it with my girl AIDS. We did IVF. That's how I have my beautiful twins now. We did IVF. And luckily, God, thank you for letting my sperm come back. Or else I wouldn't have had my babies. You know what I mean? And so, I was just blessed to be able to do that and have a woman to do it with that had strong eggs as well and wanted to endure doing IVF. So that's basically my experience with roids. Of course, the question is, did it cause my heart attack? Doctors never know the cause. It could have been being in prison 11 years, eating top ramen, eating bad food as a kid. And when I got out I just ate bad food all my life, right? So that could be the cause. Or it could be the cause of the steroids. Trying and experimenting with all that stuff. So it could be a combination of both, right? We don't know. So luckily I just experienced one clogged artery. So they put a stent in it. So now everything's running perfectly. I used to have bad swelling in my feet, ankles. I don't know more, but since the stent was put in, evidently the heart is back working how it's supposed to. Um, so it's my advice. Don't even get on it, bro. Unless you 35, you go to the doctor, they say your testosterone low. No man wants his testosterone low. Why? Because your libido will be low, your energy low, your body more prone to hold fat, which cause health problems. Um, and when you try roids, man, it's addictive, like any other drug. Your libido through the roof, which is sex drive. For people don't know what I'm saying. Your sex drive is through the roof. Your energy through the roof. You eating. You become muscular, strong, fast. Seems like you thinking on point. Your mind is just clicking right. Uh, it's the hormone we have in us as men that makes us men. When you could think back when you was 12, 13, 14, 15, you had the boners all the time. Your energy was crazy. You was all over the place. That's what testosterone do for you. You know what I mean? And I don't recommend it to anybody under 35, man. It's just, it could ruin your life. As you guys see a lot of people doing videos about it. You see these bodybuilders. I feel sorry for the guys, pros, top pros, can't have kids. They say they don't want them, but I know because I was like that. You can't have them. They can't have them. That's why, because they didn't shot the sperm out. So you don't want to do that, man. Wait till you in your late 30s, early 40s, go to a doctor and let them prescribe it. Because another thing, it's made in most of it's made in somebody's kitchen or bathroom. You don't even know where it's coming from. That's why I got that bad infection, that bacterial infection. You don't know where it's been made, man. It's like any other drug. People use it now and get fentanyl and they get, people say it's testosterone, but it be Winstrol or Deca. You don't know where it's made, and I would just leave it alone, man. Get fit. The key way with getting fit, buff, healthy, eating right, drinking a good amount of water, and high reps, bro. That's it. Like I said, testosterone, if you do the research and study on steroids, Hitler, and also, so I also found out it was Hitler and a black guy that invented it. The black guy really invented it, but Hitler honed it in with his scientists, his doctors. It was meant as something to make us superhuman. And it just, which it does, but it just wasn't the type of soldier he wanted. So it became a thing in like Russia, Germany, and the U.S. where Olympic athletes would use it. Athletes, people that want to be stronger. But we got to remember, steroids also help AIDS patients, cancer patients, kids that can't grow. That's what it's used for medically now. Men, older men that need hormone therapy replacement, stuff like that's what it's used for now. I remember my baby mother, she had started bleeding before she gave birth to the babies, and they had to give her a booster shot of steroids to save the babies, whatever. And it has its medical use, man, and that's what it's for. It's not to be abused, which most bodybuilders, fitness people do, and it's no it's no benefit. I mean, we all want to look good, jacked, and I know a lot of people go say it's easy for me to say that, and I'm just telling you my experience. Nobody else have gave an in-depth overview like I'm doing with you guys now, and it just, I understand a lot of people that say they natty, not whatnot. I never said I was natty. Everybody assumed I said it. They start making videos. He said it, and nowhere in the world I said I was natty. If I did, it was trolling with the trolls. But I never said I'm a natural bodybuilder. I'm natty. Like I never said that in my life. Why? How could I? So if there are people out there that's lying about it, I get it. They want endorsements. They don't want to. No man have to tell nobody what they're taking. That's like a man having to say how he masturbate. Do I got to tell you how I do that? Like, no man had to tell you anything. Stuff should be obvious. You know what I mean? To a sane person with comprehension, stuff should be obvious. You know what I mean? If you look at a tree, ain't that a tree? I mean, with leaves, is it an apple tree? Like, it should be common sense. People want people to, come tell them all their business. And no, it ain't. You don't have to expose. People don't, it's not a necessity for them to tell you what they do. Like, that's just not realistic life, man. But that's my experience with it. As we see, it's a lot of deaths with fitness people, bodybuilder, but also we got to remember, United States, the number one cause of death is heart attacks. There's people not on roids. We just know the few celebrity bodybuilders, IFBB pros. We know them because we in that field. We in that culture. But it's not many bodybuilder fitness people that die. We just lately encountered quite a few, which I was in that boat, had a heart attack, massive heart attack. I could have been dead. Fortunately, I went to the hospital within a great amount, in a good time to save my life. But like I said, if you're under 35, don't do it, man. It's unnecessary. You don't even need to. Only supplement you should be taking is a pre-workout to pump you up. If you're test low, young, get on like a test booster, like I have, hyphy test or whatever. But try to stay just, clean as possible, man. We already encounter a lot of chemicals in our food that we have to ward off and be worried about. So adding a lot of extra stuff is unnecessary, and I know a lot of you young guys out there, you already bodybuild, you did it, and we going to. I'm just telling you my experience. If you do it, you do it. I gave y'all my stack, but you can expect some bad stuff to happen health-wise. You know what I mean? I had a lot of puffiness of the feet, ankles. I had a lot of little stuff like that was giving me a sign to not mess with it. But I kept going. So that's the thing with messing with chemicals. You don't know where they made, how they made, nothing like that. So it's just crucial, man. And, like I say, don't do it if you don't have to. That's the bottom line of it, man. I hope y'all take something good from this video. I hope you learn something. That's what this is here for, educational purposes. I love you guys, or I wouldn't even tell you this information. A lot of guys won't even give you this information. I just, it's time for me. I experienced a heart attack, lived through it, and I'll be a fool or an idiot not to express this to you guys to learn from it, because I wish I had somebody talking to me like I'm talking to you guys right now. Like somebody came out and explained everything, the causes, the effects, and not to mention if you start roids to get off, your libido gonna be shot. You're gonna lose 90% of your muscle if you already wasn't jacked. There's just a lot of side effects, man, that's not even necessary, because as we know, pro bodybuilding is not no money in it. It's just not money to live. You know what I mean? Sponsors, there's no more sponsors. Guys now are just ambassadors with supplement companies. You don't have supplement companies giving you $100,000 a year, no more, nothing like that. It's just not worth it. And if you're doing social media, Facebook, YouTube, and you want to be a fitness celebrity or icon or influencer, of course you got to look good, but you don't need to take roids to look good. You know what I mean? I looked phenomenal all the way until I started roids. I looked good. I could have not took them. You know what I mean? And still been a fitness influencer. So, man, I love you guys. Thanks for watching. I hope this answers some of your questions. If you have questions, leave in the comments section. I'll try to assist you guys as much as possible. And, man, like I say, hopefully you guys learn from my mistakes. Leave it alone. Work out. Eat healthy as possible. That's the key, man. Love you. Thank you, guys.
Click here to watch another awesome video from Cali Muscle. And if you support the channel, hit the subscribe button.